For this week, I watched the show Black Mirror, and if you have no idea about this show or the premise, basically it asks a very simple question, and that is, what if technology could do this? And then every episode answers with a different yes and. And because of this, there is no similar characters or setting or anything of that sort. The only similar thing is majority of it is British because it's filmed in Britain, I'm assuming. I don't think all of it is, but a good part of it. And the show follows no story, and every season's different. So what I decided to do for this midweek must watch is not go season by season, because every season is different and there's not one key element that one season has and the other doesn't. I'm gonna review some of my favorite episodes throughout the whole thing, and I hope that is enjoyable to watch. So let's begin. Now, my first favorite episode has to be the episode titled White Bear. And in this episode, it follows the story of a woman who can't remember anything, what's happening in the world, or anything about herself. And basically, she walks out and notices everyone's on their phone and filming her constantly. And she realizes that she's the only one that's not affected. But then later in the episode, she starts seeing other people that aren't affected. And instead of these people also trying to help these people that are stuck, they start abusing this power and hunting this woman down. And this is one of the most surprising episodes because you're not entirely sure who you can trust throughout the entire episode. And I think that's when Black Mirror is at its strongest, when you can never tell what's exactly going on, but you have a basic idea. And then that thing throws it out the window at the end. And while twists can be, underwhelming in Black Mirror, I found the twists are never underwhelming and they're always paid off. So, yeah. My second favorite episode has to be the episode titled Shut Up and Dance. In this episode, follows the story of a teenager, I'm assuming, who watches an adult film or adult content, I think you can assume what I mean by that, and his webcam records the whole thing. And what happens is that webcam was actually being recorded by this hacker guy and then sends this teenage boy on some wild goose chase. And all these other people are linked into it and they all had these photos leaked and all these other videos in it. And it got really intense. I think the best thing about this is you can see this happening right now, which is very scary when Black Mirror episodes are set in present day to me, because majority of them are set in this more futuristic world where they have like robots and AI and all this. But this one is, you could see this happening right now. And that's why I don't have a webcam on my laptop. Also because it didn't come with one. But we're just gonna say it's because of this episode. I think the reason why it got this name, Shut Up and Dance, is because of monkeys, because, monkey street performers, because you see them. And usually the trainer tells them to shut up and dance. They also do that with prisoners back in the day. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I'm gonna say it is. And this episode was really well done, and it made me feel bad, but also didn't feel bad for the main character, if that makes any sense.
This gets out, I will lose my kids. And I swear to God, I will stand in the kitchen and put a fucking bread knife through my throat if that happens.
I only looked at pictures and
beat one off on camera. That's what they got, yeah? Your hot little face, blurred fist, dick burping fucking spunk everywhere. Your mum's gonna love that on Facebook, Twitter, Insta fucking whatever. And her friends, all eyes on you, giving it that. Tossing the cunts at work, calling you Spurty Magoo. Laughing at your cum face, making it their desktop wallpaper. It's not just weeks, we're talking years here. My pictures hang about on Google like a gypsy fucking curse. There's no cure for the internet. It would never go away. It would be glued to your name, a fucking stain on you. I'd hang myself if that was me. Crack my fucking neck at the first opportunity.
Next up is the episode Hated in the Nation, not Hated by the Nation. And in this episode, it is following a story of where bees have kind of gone extinct. So the government has made these robot bees. And while you see the robot bees flying around, the story really follows this cop or detective. And she's trying to find this serial killer who's able to somehow kill people without anyone else seeing how they did it. And while the twist is they are using these robotic bees, and yes, I did say minor spoiler, so if you're so shocked by that, then oh well, you figure that out in like the first 10 minutes. This one is also the length of a movie, so if you want to see a Black Mirror episode that's about 90 minutes long, then check this one out, because this works as a movie, but they placed it in a TV show. And that's what I've noticed throughout all of Black Mirror, is none of them are short, and that does make it very interesting to watch. Sometimes it can be a little chore for the slower episodes, but it always pays off in the end. And the robot bees, they are, they start getting controlled and all this and that, and it's really cool to watch the detective deal with it.
Lapse disorder, we still don't know what's behind it. Bees themselves were virtually extinct, so what our ADIs do is effectively stand in for them. They're solar powered, they don't need nectar, but they pollinate flowers the same way. They crawl inside, pollen sticks to their legs and gets brushed off next flower they visit.
Can they make honey?
No.
I was joking.
While this is the second to last favorite episode of mine, this has to be my all-time favorite, and that is Metalhead. In this episode, it is filmed entirely in black and white, and is the only Black Mirror episode, I believe, that's filmed entirely in black and white. If not, then editing me will say, North, you're a dumbass, and place the episode here. But I'm pretty sure it's the only episode filmed in black and white, and basically it follows the story of majority of humans seem to be dead and are hunted down by these robots called dogs, and they look like they are inspired by the Boston Dynamics robots. If you don't know what those are, they look like this. And my theory, at least, is that the Boston Dynamic robots had enough of being shoved and pushed around by their creators, because you see those videos all over, and basically they started an uprising, and they managed to be able to shoot, like, not bullets, they're like pieces of metal that have tracking things so they can hunt them down, and knives and stun guns, and they're really intense. This episode is also really cool for being the only one in black and white, and it just follows the story of one person, and I think that's really interesting to see how an everyday person is surviving this. It does end pretty sadly, but I mean, majority of Black Mirror episodes do. It's very rare to find a happy one, and when you do, those usually aren't the best ones, because Black Mirror seems to be known for sad, depressing technology, not for happy, uplifting technology. But overall, this has to be my favorite episode, and yeah, that's about it. Last favorite episode has to be the episode titled Black Museum. In this episode, it follows the story of a tourist who wanders into this museum and waits for a car to charge. And basically, it has a whole bunch of mini episodes inside because the tour guide explains what these artifacts do. And it's really interesting to see how all of them connect at the very end. And it's just an overall great episode. It had a great payoff, and it wasn't as sad as the other ones, and I think this was one of the few not completely sad ones that was always interesting from beginning to end, and not many of them can say that. For this one, there's also plenty of Easter eggs throughout the whole thing, so if you notice, like, I'm pretty sure that there's a bathtub that was covered in blood, and that was also just in the episode, that was in an episode later in the season, and they have all these other little Easter eggs that if you pay attention to the show and you pay attention to what the tour guide's saying, you'll pick up on it, and I think that's really enjoyable, that it's like a, hey, here's this thing, do you remember that and this? And it kind of shows that all of them are slightly connected in a way, but not entirely, so you don't know how this exactly works, but you know that it started somehow, and that this guy, the tour guide, might be a part of it. And yeah, and that was probably the best part about this episode, is it had 3 mini episodes inside one, and I think that's great because then it doesn't make it feel slow, and I think that's really enjoyable. Overall, Black Mirror is an amazing show, and I'm kind of mad that I haven't watched it before, but I am super glad that I watched it now, obviously. And this has definitely become one of my favorite sci-fi shows in recent years because sci-fi has been on the decline, and this show really shows that it's not. You can always make cool and creative stories, even if they are darker than average sci-fi, and I think that's great because it just is. You don't see much, you mostly see fantasy and horror, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but it's nice to see like a more horror sci-fi, because the only ones that we've had recently are like Alien and Predator, and those are cool, but I mean, I've seen them done. And Terminator, but I mean, yeah, you've seen it done. So this show takes an approach that I think works really well, and I can't recommend it enough. So for this show, I give it an 8.5 out of 10 Wednesdays. And you're probably thinking, wait, why not a 10 out of 10? Because while a majority of it is very well done, there are a couple little episodes that are, you know, more of a miss than a hit, but I think that's every show. And I want to start being a bit more critical than, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. I might cut this out. Probably gonna cut this out. Yeah, maybe, we'll see. All right, well, hope you guys had a good day, and stay safe out there. Bye. Guys, if you enjoyed that episode of Midweek Must Watch, then please hit the like button. And if you are new, then please hit subscribe because our next milestone is 100 subscribers, and we are 46 subscribers away. And that seems like a lot, but if you're new, then it goes from 46 to 45, and that's pretty neat. And also hit the bell, that always helps. And I know you hear every YouTuber say that, but the reason why is because, I don't know, it just seems to be the trend, and I thought, let me jump on it because it seems to work, because that's what gets me to click, so maybe that'll get you to click too. And yeah, that is about it. So hope you guys had a great day and a great week. And I know we're still all kind of stuck inside, but it's gonna get better. So stay with us, and yeah, if you're new, hit subscribe and leave a like and a comment. Bye guys, stay safe out there.